Well, hey, welcome to the Prosperity Collabs podcast. My name is Chris Mueller. I am a CEO, business owner, coach, and consultant here in Southern California. And on this show, we'll be sharing conversations with high achievers, coaches, salespeople, athletes, platform builders, and entrepreneurs with the goal of sharing the tips, tricks, habits, and mindsets that lead to a more prosperous life. This all comes from a firm belief that success is not a solo sport, and we're better when we work together. So today's guest is a man I've known for a long time. He's an accomplished graduate of the United States Air Force Academy. He has a long career in sales, I think starting with mobile home sales once upon a time. He's a sales coach, business consultant, keynote speaker, and father of 7 children. And I've gotten to witness a little bit of that journey as he's been raising those kids. And I can tell you they're a phenomenal family. And I think he's now a grandfather of 1, maybe 2, but I'll let him tell you more about that. So I'm excited to welcome Wes Schaeffer to the show. Hey, Wes, welcome to the Prosperity Collabs.
Dude, I got walkout music. That's all right.
Hey, man, you know me. I've always loved technology. I like lights and all that stuff, man. So,
and your picture, dude, it looked kind of like Superman-esque, like almost like you should be ripping that shirt off.
Well, I might later.
You should stalk me more closely because I'm a grandfather of 2.2.
2.2. I did not know that. I got the update, and full disclosure, I've known Wes for a long time. His daughter was actually at my house hanging out with my kids on New Year's Eve. This is where I get my updates. But yeah, so that's cool, man. So so 2 going on 3. Well, 2.5. Yeah. So beautiful.
No, this was brand new. So we'll call it 2.2, maybe like 2.15. It's like brand new.
How do you have less gray hair than I have? That's what I don't know.
Only, what was that show or whatever, one of those hair products only your barber will know?
Yeah, man. I don't know. I've been looking around and I can tell you, I know. I can see some of this. Dude, you got orange hair and you're 75, so it ain't working.
I got a great beard.
Yeah, no, the beard. I just actually shaved mine recently because I was like, this isn't making me look rugged anymore. It's making me look more like Santa. So I'm gonna be done with that. So, well, hey, I invited Wes onto the show today because I know he's got this extensive background in sales and coaching and speaking, and I wanted to talk about what are the things that salespeople need to be doing right now to have the best 2024 they could possibly have, really, so that 2024 isn't like 2023. So the goals we're setting right now actually happen, as opposed to they got adjusted all year long so we could accept that slow defeat. I'd rather have that best year ever. So we'll talk about that. But before we do, Wes, I just wanted to get a little background on you for the listeners. Like I said, I think it started in mobile home sales, but tell me, like, how does this journey of sales and sales consulting, how does that begin?
Dude, it's long and winding. No, I fell into mobile home sales. I was a stockbroker. And after 6 months, ended up in a 3-year arbitration case with them that I eventually won. But I was on unemployment when my second son was born. And I took the mobile home job in Mobile, Alabama, because it paid like $10 or $20 a week more than unemployment. It was a draw against commission. I think it was like $365 a week, a draw against commission. So it's you got to sell something, because if you don't sell something 2 or 3 months, they just let you go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they're out a couple grand, but it's not too onerous. But this was 1998.
Wow.
So I fell into that. And so between May of 98 and May of 99, I made exactly $100,000. Our rent, golly, was like under $400 a month. So I did the math recently, like $100,000 in 98, 99.
Mm-hmm.
It's something like $150,000 or $160,000 today.
Yeah.
So imagine your first job, you make $160,000 your first year. I was like, okay, maybe I can sell.
Yeah. Now, mobile homes, that's not a high volume, right? So what's the commission rate on that?
No, it was, so I sold exactly 52 mobile homes in 1 year.
Wow. Okay.
And so the commission, so we had gross profit targets, okay, single
Mhm.
wide, double wide, triple wide. So, um, and so to maximize your commissions, you had to hit those targets. And so we knew all the numbers. There was also, I worked for a company. They were vertically integrated, right? So they built them, they owned the retail lot, so they sold them, and they had the financing. So that means they got the repos. So if somebody didn't pay, so we had to sell one repo per quarter, and then we had to hit the gross profits margins on each of the trailers. So, and if you didn't do that, if you didn't hit the repo target, you took a big hit.
Mhm.
And so, man, I just analyzed the numbers,
Mhm.
right? And I sold a lot of repos. And so what happened there is I could barter for them.
Mhm.
So if let's say you got a big sale coming up, right? Maybe you're going to get like a $3,000 commission if you're at full pay, but you
Right.
don't have a repo to your name. So you might lose $1,000 in your commission. So our manager would let us trade. So he, he would let me put one of my repos into your column.
Mhm.
Okay. But then you had to split the delta. So let's say you were going to lose $1,000. So you'd give me $500.
Mhm.
So you made an extra $500. I made $500. Everybody
Mhm.
was happy. And anybody could have sold them, right? It's not like I had a lock on the repos. I just work with a lot of lazy people.
Yeah. No, okay. Anybody can sell. Sure. Right, but they don't. But
Well,
you know,
anybody could have sold the repos,
right.
right? So, but they just wouldn't. So, okay, I did.
Right. Yeah. Hey, if you're not gonna, you know. Um so I just want to back up though cuz Air Force Academy to
And Texas A&M. So two degrees, and
right to
then within six
stockbroker.
months of leaving the Air Force, I'm unemployed selling trailers.
Yeah.
Not exactly the trajectory I had mapped out.
Yeah, and I mean, so I guess that's where I want to start. There's a lot of mental fortitude, right? Because there's a lot of guys who, flying high, literally Air Force, to stockbroker, which could possibly one of the sexiest sounding careers. Not, I don't know
Yeah.
if it lives up to the hype or not. To litigation, to selling mobile homes in Mobile, Alabama, and you said Mobile. Where was it? Uh,
Yeah, Mobile.
You know what I mean? So tell me about the mental toughness. I mean, because I imagine there was a lot of what the expletive
Yeah,
have I done? You know?
yeah, dude, it was rough. But when your back's against the wall, right? Shannon has stayed home for 28 years, and
Mm-hmm.
my boys are less than a year apart, right? So I get laid off, and I got a 10-month old, and Shannon's ready to pop.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like set your feelings aside and go to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, really, is nothing, no other way to put it.
Yeah. No, I hear it. Sorry, I'm playing with my graphics at the same time. I apologize. It disappeared and it looked so fancy and I hit
That's
some button.
fancy, man.
So man, I know. But no, you make it sound easy, Wes, but the reality is that couldn't have been easy. That there was probably
I
a lot
mean,
of
no,
doubt, a lot
it
of
was it wasn't. But again, when it hits you, it's like any tragedy or challenge in life. Like you get in a car accident or diagnosed with cancer. It's like, how'd you get through it? It's like, I didn't have a choice. I wake up,
mm-hmm.
you know, and I won my arbitration case, but it took 3 years. So it didn't matter that I was right. I had to
Right.
feed my family,
Right. Yeah.
and I went and interviewed for white collar jobs, but man, I was persona non grata. You
Mm-hmm.
couldn't explain that, right? Like, okay, they're saying September of '97, you were an officer and things were good, and then you were a stockbroker, and now February of '98, you're in a lawsuit. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna pass.
Right. Right. Yeah. So okay, so you're in mobile home sales. You excel. right? By any measure, you're kicking butt in mobile home sales. So what did that
Yeah.
do? I mean, I imagine that kind of opened your eyes to some possibilities. It obviously changed your trajectory, right? So how did we
Oh,
get
for
from
sure.
there to here?
I was promoted to general manager, given my own store. I remember it was a little bitty town, Corinth, Mississippi, up 45 minutes north of Tupelo, so right on the border of Tennessee. Population 11,000.
Mm-hmm.
And I get up there the weekend before the 4th of July, and the store is running a $63,000 a month deficit.
Mm.
At the same time, the
Thanks
company
for the
starts,
promotion.
yeah. Well, and it's like good and bad, right? It's like you don't, look at sports, unless you have like a legend just retire, you
Mm-hmm.
know, you bring a new coach in when look at Neon Dion, right? I mean,
Mm-hmm.
Colorado was what, 1-10, 1-11, whatever.
Yeah.
So the opportunity is there in the chaos. And
Yeah.
so, but, little did I know that the struggles of the entire company, because they were playing fast and loose with credit, and the company eventually went bankrupt.
Yeah.
But my manager, I'm still friends with him today. We talk all the time. And he's in Alabama. And golly, so in that year I was working for him, he had 6 salespeople. I think he made $400,000.
Wow. In
With 6
1998.
salespeople in Mobile, Alabama.
Yeah.
Right. So here I am. I'm in business like 13 months, 14 months, and I'm giving my own store. I'm like, holy crap, I'm going to make $400,000. So
Mm-hmm.
again, you got to almost double that. Right? That'd be $650,000, $700,000
Mm-hmm.
in today's money. And dude, this is mobile home sales. This ain't like bring your work home with you, right? Like when you're done
Mm-hmm.
for the day, you're done. Um, but then, boom, they started tightening the credit.
Right.
Uh, we got, I'd kept track of it for a long time. Still got a sheet somewhere. Um, we had submitted something like 60 or 70 loans and got one approved
Mm.
internally.
Mm-hmm.
So we had to go to outside sources, but still it took me 90 days and we turned $1,000 profit. So,
That's phenomenal.
uh,
From $65,000 in the red to $1,000 in
yeah,
the black.
63 a month in the red and $1,000 with literally no help from corporate, right?
Right.
Because it used to be easy money, it was a precursor of our 2008 national collapse. It was
Mm-hmm.
literally a 100% precursor, because they were playing fast and loose with money, giving loans they shouldn't have, overcharging. It was a mess. But so now Shannon's pregnant with our third. Elise was born in February the following year.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're up this little town of 11,000 people. I mean, my closest family was a 6 or 7 hour drive away.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Nashville airport was a couple hour drive. And this company's going bankrupt, right? I'm like, oh, I couldn't ride that out. I moved to Houston when I was 12. That's where I was supposed to go be a stockbroker, where I knew people. So, if I was in a big town, if I was in Houston or Austin or Dallas, I could have ridden it out. Like, hey, let's see how this goes. Worst case, I'll just go work for a competitor. But you can't do that with third baby on the way. Business is iffy. Town's 11,000 people. It's like, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm.
So now I'd been in long enough. I had a track record, had some connections with a military firm that worked with veterans, and got into sales for them in Austin. And so I just want to get back to Texas. I knew if I got back kind of to my roots, we could figure things out. And it did. It worked out that way, So, but, we moved again. And Elise was born in Austin. And then I ended up jumping into high tech, and then boom, boom, boom. By 2006, well, my timing was always terrible, because in 2000, right, it was like December '99, I started with them. So the stock market was peaking.
Mm-hmm.
The NASDAQ was peaking, and the dot-com implosion happened. And 6 months later,
Mm-hmm.
I'm in high tech. So 4 years of misery.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh man. But I'm like, hey, if I can survive this kind of chaos working for somebody, it's like it won't be any more chaotic working for myself.
Right. Yeah. So you say you went to high
So
tech. What is that? What was the high tech?
I was selling test and measurement equipment to like big providers like Sprint and AT&T and big
Okay.
cable companies, Time Warner Cable. Eventually, I was on the West Coast. Google was a client, Apple. So big tech companies pushing all this data, right? All this internet, all this cell phone. It's very complex, and you've got to test it. We take all this for granted, right? You
Yeah.
turn your phone on, and the data's there. Well, when AT&T or Sprint go to turn a switch on, go to turn a, a new tower on, how do you know it can handle 1,000 or 1,000,000, connections, whatever it's going to be? You're talking about 10 gigabit Ethernet, 100 gigabit, 400 gigabit. You've got to test it. So that test equipment is very expensive
Mm-hmm.
uh, because they have to simulate all the users
Yeah.
to make sure everything's configured, kind of like running water through your pipes before it's accepted. So it's the exact same thing. They call them pipes.
Mm-hmm.
What's the bandwidth, what's the throughput. And so a West Pointer actually found me because I was, um, so funny story, right? Dallas was part of my territory with this company. And there was a networking group of academy grads. And this West Pointer ran this monthly luncheon. And so I went up there and would coordinate my travels to fall within that time frame. And after I attended just a couple of them, I said, hey, man, you should start one of these in Austin. And he said, no, you should start one of these in Austin. Right. So he's a little older gentleman, and he was, pretty well set. And he just liked meeting old guys and
Mm-hmm.
having lunch. So I was like, oh, yeah, because you never think of this. You look around like somebody should do that. Well, maybe that somebody is you.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Somebody should create a networking group for realtors, for professionals, for whatever in my community. Okay, yeah, that somebody is you. So I had access to a database. I had a part-time assistant at the company I was at, and we had like 400 names of West Point, Annapolis, and Air Force grads within like an hour of my location. So I picked a spot. It was a Mexican restaurant near the mall. And I said, hey, we're going to meet for lunch. 55 people showed up. And that group ran, it may still be going today. It ran for 13 years. I know that, even after I left. But so I started that group, and a guy attended. I thought he was going to be a client, and he ended up recruiting me. He was a West Point grad.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to work for him. That got me into the high tech space.
Yeah. Well, I love I want to point out, because I think there's a number of younger people listening, right? And I love the journey, because there's no roadmap here, right? There's no, like, we thought we had a map. It didn't go the way it was supposed to go. There was adversity. We started selling mobile homes. Mobile homes led to high tech, right? And opportunities happened along the way, but you got to be looking for them. And so just with a big highlighter, like, your first step is not your last step, right? Sometimes where we start it's not where we're going to end up. It's never where you're going to end up. But unless you get
No.
started, you're never going to get where you're supposed to be. And I always talk about this. This is my journey. Like, God says, go to point A, and I think I know exactly what point B, C, D, and E are going to be. And God's like,
Yeah.
no, you got no idea, right? And you went to point A and ended up at like F, right? And then straight to G, and that led you to entrepreneurship and essentially being your own business. Now, when did you make the jump into sales consulting, into training and all that?
I laid the foundation in 2006, and then got laid off on my birthday, 2007. So went full time.
Gee, I gotta tell you, man, you had a way of getting kicked in the teeth and coming back.
Dude, I've been laid off twice on my birthday.
Oh my goodness! Wow. But again, man, there is no journey that doesn't have a valley, right?
Yeah.
There's no epic journey that doesn't have struggle and tension. And our life is an adventure. There's no good adventure that doesn't have that chapter where you think, oh crap, I don't know how this is going to end.
Yeah.
Laid off on your birthday twice. That's a couple of good chapters, right? All right. So you got laid off on your birthday. And when was that again? Tell me again.
2007.
2007. And so at that point you said what?
I just went all in on doing my thing,
Yeah.
and that opened it up because I was available. I had contacts, friends back in Austin. I got a sweet consulting gig with Dell. That started up very soon. Right after that, I was like literally within 2 months, 3 months, and it was significant. Um, and So that gave me the runway, and that was bittersweet, because it took me away from home, and I was delivering other people's content. So I got a lot of practice, but it wasn't my stuff. It really wasn't who I was going after or wanted to do, because it was really, I felt like a monkey on a stage, regurgitating their stuff. Uh, but it was good money,
Mm-hmm.
but it changed the perception that our community here had of me. They thought, oh, I'm this big Fortune 100 trainer consultant. And I was like, no, I want to work with smaller businesses.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I had to kind of rebrand once that contract ended, but again, it built up the nest egg. So that was good.
Good deal. And so now you are the sales whisperer, and I saw another name on the website. It was the business fixer. Is that right?
Yep.
Very
Yep.
cool. And so what are the core services? What are you doing? How are you helping serve businesses and business owners right now?
Um, Ultimately, it's helping them find truth. And everyone's a little bit different.
All right.
But it's kind of like, we're recording this early in January, right? Everybody has their moment. Um, those that decide to make that New Year's resolution, something happened,
Mm-hmm.
right? They see a picture of themselves. Maybe, the Christmas party, they couldn't wear the suit or the dress they wanted to because they put on a little bit of weight. So, but you have to want it. There has to be something internal that says, okay, it's time to get back in shape. It's time to get strict with my diet. So, I work with W-2 salespeople, entrepreneurs, small business owners. Uh, you kind of talked about it in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I help them. I hold that mirror up and say, you know what you've got to do. I'm not bringing any potions or incantations, no easy buttons, no silver bullets, but I'm just helping them recognize what they need to do. Now, I do help them. It's like, got it written down. It's like, I can see what you meant to say, but didn't.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
Right. I'm very good with words. Most salespeople, marketing people, business owners are too verbose. And so I help them boil it down to their essence and then just hammer that point home uh, until they get wildly successful. Because the reality is, I wrote a post the other day and I'm putting it on my website today. It's like we're talking about fitness, right? Why
Mm-hmm.
why do you need a fitness coach? You know how to do a pull up and a sit up and a push up and you can go jog,
Yeah.
but it's boring,
Mm-hmm.
right? Having that accountability partner, uh, somebody that's going to ride your butt if you don't get up, somebody you've got to answer to the next day. What'd you eat yesterday? What'd you drink yesterday? Did you get enough rest? You drinking enough water? Yeah, okay, they'll mix it up. They'll give you some cool little routines to not get bored. But
Mm-hmm.
I think it was Herschel Walker, the running back. I think he was all natural, like literally body weight exercises, and that dude was a tank.
Mm-hmm.
So, most salespeople and business owners get in trouble because they want to be creative.
Oh yeah. Yep. Well, you're speaking my language.
You become you become successful when you're consistent.
Yep. Yep.
So I help you find your voice. I always say you have to deliver a powerful message in a powerful manner. So first, what is your message? Okay. Once we nail that down, then how do we deliver it? And depending on who you're selling to, if you're selling burial insurance, right? If you're selling, supplemental insurance for, people on Social Security, maybe you run a Yellow Pages ad and you do some direct mail and you call,
Mm-hmm.
right? If you're selling, I don't know, skateboards, uh, have a good Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok channel.
Mm-hmm.
So, but you still, what is your message,
Right.
right? And how are you going to deliver it? But too many people they see, oh, that person's really famous on TikTok. I should do TikToks. The number of jaw dropping Instagram, Facebook Live, TikToks I see from real estate people and mortgage people, it's like, why are you doing that?
Because I'm supposed to be that, exactly, Well, and I think it's
Like, are you
bigger
really
too,
getting
right?
business from that?
Because if I don't
Oh,
know that message, like as a CEO or as a business owner, I can't tell my clients that, but I also can't invite my employees into it if I don't know what it is, right? If I can't articulate it, then I have employees who are here earning a buck, but they don't know what we do or who we are, right? They're just earning a buck. And so they're going to be as dedicated as that entails, right?
yeah. I mean, golly, it's now with AI, I'm telling people, like we read in the Old Testament, right? There's nothing new under the sun.
Mm-hmm.
What's old is new. Nobody trusts anything anymore. So they're wanting to meet in person again. COVID is over, I hope, right? But certainly people are tired of it.
Oh,
They
yeah.
don't want to be locked up. They don't want to be isolated. And now we don't trust anything with deep fakes. So go back to meeting in person.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
Mail somebody something physical, something tangible. Go write a book,
Yeah.
write a booklet,
Yep.
and go back to what worked for thousands of years before now. Oh, but AI and CRMs and video, you can AI is new. You
Sure.
don't need to be bleeding edge on this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. Let somebody else, take the arrows. Apple has done kind of okay by not inventing anything new. They just
Mm-hmm.
make things better,
Yeah.
right? They didn't, they didn't invent MP3 players. They didn't invent cell phones. They just made them better.
Yeah. Well, I think the danger, because I'm in the real estate sphere, and a lot of real estate agents are using AI now for a lot of things, particularly property descriptions or this. It's a time saver when you have somebody write it for you, right? The problem
Sure.
is you lose your voice, right? And it's
Yes.
very easy to sound generic very quickly. And the truth of the matter is, people don't want a relationship with an automaton. They want a relationship with a person, particularly in sales, right? They want to know I can trust the person, right? Because if I can trust the person, then I'm going to apply that to the product, right? And so, can I trust the product? I can't have can trust the person, but I don't want to get political. You look at political candidates, who wins? It's the one that we think we know or the one that we think we like. But when we have a candidate that you just kind of get the sense that they're saying what they're supposed to, right? Those are detestable ones. Those are the ones that, they may have all the poll numbers in the beginning, but it becomes very clear that the person who's more authentic wins every time. I mean, and
Yeah.
you know,
It's so ironic. Everybody talks about authenticity and transparency, and they emote. But yeah, then they use all this technology. They use filters, and nothing's the same.
oh yeah.
You meet them in person. I've written a couple books, and I remember this lady. She came into my office years ago, when I had an office. And we meet, and she's like, "You sound just like you're writing." So basically, like, there were no airs. like when I write, I use y'all and ain't and, gotta and a
Mm-hmm.
lotta. And I mean, and so that's how I am.
Yeah.
Yes, I can write exquisite prose, but when I'm writing to connect with the people I want to connect with, I quote the Bible. I throw a little poo poo here and there, but not a lot. And I use ain't and y'all.
Texas comes out,
So
right? Yeah.
yeah,
There you go.
yeah,
I think
people
it's true.
appreciate it.
Well, hey, man, I promised that we would talk about what salespeople need to be doing right now, right? Because I personally love goal setting. I love New Year's. I love committing to like new habits. I know you've been doing, cold plunges. I know that's something my daughter gives me a hard time about because I'm doing it, and then your daughter was teasing me because you're doing it, and those kind of things. I love that, right? I love tweaking stuff to try to improve myself, improve my business, improve our life. Um, but everybody does this New Year's resolution thing. Everybody admits there's something in their life that's not right, right? We make a resolution to fix it, and then we give up on that resolution universally to such a degree that now it's almost become a thing that people don't make resolutions because they know everybody's just going to quit them anyway, right? So it's the defeat mentality. As a business owner, we set goals. We say this year we're going to double our profit, or we're going to grow this, we're going to expand to this thing, or whatever it is. And I think far too often that really ambitious set of goals kind of gets put to the side in the file. And then we get around to this time next year and we look at those goals and we go, yeah, oh no, but next year is going to be different, right? So what do we need to do? Like, what are you coaching on that people should be doing right now to make sure that that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah, I've written some posts over the years. One of them is uh, something along the lines of your BHAGs are killing you. Your big hairy audacious goal, because it feels like you're doing something. We're going to double our business this year. Fantastic. What are you going to do in the next 15 minutes to make that possible?
Mm-hmm.
It's just deer in the headlight. Um, when you join my course, one of the first things I have you do is track your time for a month in 15-minute increments. Uh, and you get a lot of clarity on how much time you waste.
I don't like how you're accusing me. I don't like it.
Hey, man, I did it
No,
myself.
there
I
you
learned
go.
the hard way going through it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I just, on my watch, I just have a 15-minute timer always going and just hit refresh. Just to, if nothing else, if I go down the rabbit hole of social media, college sports, jujitsu training, whatever, that buzzer, like, oh, I'm missing something. Yeah, dummy, you're missing life. Get back to work.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, track your time, right? So uh, I had Brian Moran, I think is his name, author of the 12-week year. So I did a book review on his book, and then they saw it. His team did. Then he came on my podcast, and so it was good having him on. And so in the 12-week year, so it's kind of the similar concept.
Mm-hmm.
Shorten your time horizons, and in that 12-week year, he boils it down to your daily activity. And he says, if you're hitting at least 85% of your activity each week, you should be on track to hit your numbers. And
Mm-hmm.
so I created a free program called 12 Weeks to Peak. And it's just, it's still a little ugly, but it's a detailed spreadsheet that you can just copy and create your own. I give you recommendations on activity, but everybody's going to be a little bit different. But it's prospecting. I have you write every day. People don't know how to communicate, and so when you write, you get clarity.
Mm-hmm.
And you can build up a body of work. I have you make a video every day, and it can just be a minute. I mean, there's no, and I recommend spur of the moment, walk around with your phone, but make a video. Get accustomed to putting yourself out there. Get comfortable uh, being seen and heard, and steering the conversation. instead of consuming someone else's conversation. And so, um, but shorter time frames, right? Be focused on everything that you're doing. Move with a purpose, but be well rounded. Because in that thing, it's I have you do all that stuff, but then I also have you exercise, have you drink more water. I mean, so and again, none of it's hard. That there's nothing in there. I'm not saying write something that the Wall Street Journal picks up and you know Tucker Carlson has you on to interview you. No, it's just write. But it'll be terrible. Yes. And at the end of 12 weeks, you'll be a better writer.
Absolutely.
You'll be a better communicator. You'll be a better thinker. You'll be a better connector. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so but again, going back to why are there fitness coaches? None of this is hard on its own, but sticking to that schedule, it can be a grind. I mean, I've got coaches, I belong to groups and masterminds. I lead masterminds. So it's,
Well,
it really is just those little things, those being consistent.
One of the figures I love is that you are 38% more likely to achieve a goal when you write it down, right? So write your goals down. You're 77% more likely to achieve that goal if you give someone permission to hold you accountable. So you ask me, why is coaching important? Well, because it's a 77% advantage, right? Like, and that's it, whether it's a fitness coach or it's a business coach or it's a mastermind group or whoever you get together with, it's somebody that you have to show up for that isn't your spouse, right? Because that relationship, that person can't be your coach, quite frankly, right? But if you and I have this relationship where I say, Wes, I'm going to do these things. And then you go, yeah, Chris, are you? Right. And then we break it down to the daily fit, what does that mean daily? Right. If you're going to do that thing and you're going to get it done by next year, what do you have to do today? Right. And how many times you have to do that in order to get to the goal you need to hit this week? And how many times you have to do that in order to hit the goal you need to hit this month? Right. Yeah. And what are you going to do if you don't? Right. And that's, that is the secret hack. I talk about this all the time. Like, as humans, our hack, our evolutionary advantage is community. It's that we have accountability in a way that chimpanzees do not, right? And I think everything in our modern world is trying to rip that away from us because we have this drug called social media that's like, it's the junk food of connection, right? We feel like we're getting the calories. We feel like we're getting nutrients, but we're not. We're just getting crap, right? And I think you're spot on with that. Absolutely.
Amen. Get after it.
Yeah.
Rinse, wash, and repeat. Not sexy.
So so backing up, what do we need to do right now? Take a look at that annual goal. And you're saying break it down to, don't make it a 12-month goal. Say, what do I need to do in the next 3 months, right? And then break that back down to, what are the lead indicators? What are the things I know if I do this every day, I'm going to get the result I need to hit to do whatever it is that I'm trying to achieve in the next 3 months. Is that what I'm hearing?
Yeah, actually, I wrote about that yesterday. Losing weight and making sales, achieving your sales quota, those are lagging indicators.
Mm-hmm.
It takes 3,500 calories to gain or lose a pound. If you have one donut a day and drink one Coke a day, or vice versa, skip those, right? Drink water, right? Have an apple. I mean, there's some calories in there, but you get the point. Something like, I think it was almost 9 pounds over 90 days. So you'd be almost 9 pounds better just by skipping one donut and one Coke a day.
Wow.
Okay. So, small hinges swing big doors. So you need to have let's say your goal truly is to double in a year. Okay. I would push you to say, what would it take to double in 1 quarter? All right. People, whoa, wait, what? Okay. Dial back everything. Look at all the activity you have to do. And because, so related to that, the post that I made was talking about, like, let's say your quota is $1 million per month. So 3 million in a quarter. And let's say, each sale that you make is worth $250,000.
Mm-hmm.
You just start working backwards. Let's say you close 50% of the deals you quote. So you have to quote 2 deals a week. Let's say 50% of the people you meet with, or do a demo with, whatever, want to quote. Okay, then you have to meet with 4 people on those demos a week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and say 50% of the people you talk to agree to meet. So you start dialing this back, and so then you figure out, okay, what are my numbers? You'll come up with 100, 200, 300 contacts per week to get to those numbers.
Mm-hmm.
And then, and I break it down to where you do it 4 days a week. You got to give yourself some wiggle room, right? That 5th day is for paperwork, it's for admin. And maybe it spills over, right? You do it 5 days a week, but you narrow the time. But airlines, people always wonder, like, how your flight's 30 minutes late, but it's going to land on time,
Right?
Because they build a cushion in there. They're not, if they try to fly to perfection, once that first flight is off, which will happen, everything is ruined.
Mm-hmm.
So every flight has a whatever 10, 15, 20-minute cushion, okay, depending on the length of the flight. So give yourself some white space. Your calendar should have a lot of white space. Okay? You should not have 30-minute meetings. You should have 25-minute meetings. You should have 20-minute meetings.
Mm-hmm.
My default meeting is 15 minutes. Okay. So look at everything that you're doing. Can you compress the time frame? But so again, going back, you want to double in 12 months, push yourself to double in 12 weeks and figure out the activity. It might be a little bit too much.
Sure.
Okay. But at least you're going to push yourself beyond what you were doing, and you'll figure out what really matters. And then you'll learn how to focus. And then in the next 12 weeks, so your goal was to double in a year. Okay, you're going to double in 12 months or 12 weeks. Okay, you don't double. But, if you were to grow, what? You'd have to grow 50%, 25% each quarter. What if you grew 30 or 40 or 50% that quarter?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, and you compound that, because that can be and should be consistent. You should be able to maintain that, because once you did it once, now you just got to codify it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So okay, you grew. So now if you grow 50% a quarter, what's that math? Well, that's a 4x growth.
Yeah.
Right. For the year. So, but so think big, but you got to act small.
Mm-hmm.
And nobody wants to do that. Like going to the gym, it's literally like you do all these reps, or I'm going to do, 4 sets of 10. It's literally that 38th, 39th, and 40th bench or squat where the growth comes. You've got to exhaust the muscle.
Yeah.
Oh, these are easy. These are easy. Vroom, and then you fail. That's where the growth hits.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you willing to stick with it? I always tell people, and it's hard. You have to detach. You have to kind of look down on yourself as you're working, and don't just get irritated and pissed off and frustrated at things that don't work right. Take a step back and say, why is this not working right? Is it something that you're doing? Is it somebody on the team? Is it you don't have the right software? Do you have the right software, but it's configured incorrectly? Can someone else do it? Can an employee do it? Can an overseas VA do it? Right? Take that, because you can't. I always tell people, look at what you do 2 or 3 times a day or 4 or 5 times a week. Have a process for it. Document it. Okay, and then see if you can delegate it, and then just keep going. Right? Too many people, I show up and I'm like, why are you doing it this way? I don't know. We just always do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the craziest thing. Stop doing that.
Or, hey, you do that 7 times. You do that 7 times a week, but you don't have a checklist. So you have to remember every single time what you're doing. And if something happened to you, you're screwed. Right? Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely.
Well, I get at Holy Martyrs, right? We, I'm an acolyte. I go in there and we use the Ordo, right? So it shows us what are the readings for the day. And I was there on the last day of the year. And I grabbed the Ordo and I'm looking around like, where's the Ordo for tomorrow? Oh, we have a new secretary. And I'm like, hey, Michelle, do you know where the new ordo is? She goes, I don't know what an ordo is.
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, I said, you have a checklist? She said, I'm building one. I said, okay, good. So we figure out how to get it ordered and how to look it up in the meantime. It's online, of course, but people that are serving need to know. I
Mm-hmm.
said, okay, make a checklist. And on December 1st of every year, have a recurring memo to order next year's ordo.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, good idea. So now, after the next 12 months, if she sticks with it, right, everything will be documented. We'll know what's coming up. So, and I kind of learned that from the military, right? We had to create standard operating procedures with the assumption that the person doing the thing is dead.
Right.
Right. So I would make the procedures, and I would grab the newest person, the lowest ranking, sit them down in a room and go, read this manual, operate that equipment. If they couldn't operate it, okay, it's my fault. I've got to build better instructions.
Mm-hmm.
So are you that thorough and detailed with your own business? Because if you got that way, then you can scale. If
Absolutely.
you don't do that, then you're as big as you're ever going to get, because you can't work anymore.
Yep. Well, I like to say the
Those
difference
people are
between a mom and pop donut shop and Krispy Kreme is the systems, right? And the mom and
processes.
pop, their donut might be way better than Krispy Kreme, but they're never going to beat them because they don't have the systems. Because if mom
Why
gets
is
sick,
McDonald's?
pop has to do it by himself, and they're screwed. You know,
Yeah, McDonald's is a household name because they didn't build a better burger. They
they
just
certainly did
built
not.
the burger better.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
You know,
So right now, a business owner, what we should be doing then is breaking it down into bite-sized pieces, right? Really looking at what are those things that I have to get boring on, right? That I have to commit to every day to just putting in the reps. And if it's not working, I have to ask that question of, am I the wrong person? Am I not getting enough reps? Does the system need to be improved? Is there some kind of gap in it? But I got to do the hard work of self-reflection to say, what am I doing that I'm doing because I just like to do different things, right? What am I not doing that I should be doing? And then what is it that I'm doing that is not my highest and best use? And could I have somebody else do that? Right? Is that what I'm hearing?
it is a couple of caveats. One is, the number one job of a business owner, I always tell my clients, is to market your business. Oh, but I'm an accountant, I'm a realtor, I'm whatever. I don't care. If you don't toot your own horn, there is no music.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And yes, you can hire people to do the dirty work, the retargeting pixels and the media buys and all that. But they need to be delivering your message, right? Remember how we started? You must deliver a powerful message in a powerful manner. You know your message. You can't hire somebody to deliver your message.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It's on you. So you've got to figure out what that message is. And that's your absolute number one job. Because as the founder, the owner, you have the passion. You can't buy that passion. If somebody else has that same passion, they're just going to become a competitor. They're
Mm-hmm.
not going to be your employee. They're not going to love your business the way you will. Okay. So you've got to own the importance of marketing your business. Uh, yes, you can remain founder, owner, CEO, president, blah blah blah, and of course you got to go to all those important meetings. But look, it's easier to hire an HR person, an operations person, a sales manager, accounting manager, than to find someone to own the marketing and promotion of your business. Okay, and so you've got to be willing to let some people fail, right? Because maybe you are the best accountant, the best chiropractor, the best realtor in the history of the industry. And so by default, when you hire someone else, they're not going to be as good. But if they're 90% as good, if you can train them up, coach them up to
Mm-hmm.
be 95% as good, and you fill in the gap, is that scalable? Right? Would it be enjoyable? And what you may find out, I think some owners are afraid of this, is they're going to find out that somebody is better. Somebody is a better chiropractor,
Mm-hmm.
better attorney, better realtor. It's, you got to stop worrying about that. I love being surrounded by better people. I'll get on a call and like, man, I don't know, but hold on. I know who does. I pull one of these technicians on the phone. Hey, explain the Google retargeting pixel. Hey, explain latent semantic indexing. Hey, explain
Mm-hmm.
RESTful APIs and how that interacts and why they need that on their CRM. Like I'm not going to know that stuff. And I don't mind. I,
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy being in a room of people that I've brought together, and I'm sitting in the back sipping some coffee. I'm like, hey, listen to that dude. That dude's smart, on that topic.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seen as smart because I put the room together.
Mm-hmm. Oh
So it's
yeah.
like, okay, I'm happy. Like, anybody need anything? Top off your coffee? Like, dude, I'll literally run and go get snacks and like, y'all run the meeting. I'll be right back. Knock yourselves out. You got to be willing to play that role, you know, find great talent and grow them. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
but what if I train these people and they leave? Well, what if you don't train them and they stay?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah.
what? Come
So,
on.
Wes, you've mentioned CRM and tech a couple times, and so I want to hit that nail because I think it's so critical. What business owners who needs to be using a CRM? Because obviously I'm in the real estate sphere, and I have to spend a good deal of my time talking to people about why you're not using your CRM. But who else? I mean, who else needs to be using this?
Yeah. I mean, if you're dealing with more than a handful of prospects at a time, more than a couple of clients, you need some type of system, you know, online system to track the progress of the prospect, nurture them from hello to maybe to yes, no, then track your customers, have they paid? Are they paying on time? Is the project on time? Because ultimately that's what a CRM will do. It's a contact or customer relationship management. So you
Mm-hmm.
just put in your stages, uh, and from a prospect to customer, and then for delivering, and you can get into the weeds with, well, once they're a customer, you need a project management system. Okay, yes, but if it's a simple process, you can track it in a CRM. But it's got to be more than an Excel spreadsheet, whiteboards, sticky notes, and I see a lot of companies do that, and
Mm-hmm.
uh, and they're working too hard. They're overpaying their salespeople, and they're losing deals
Mm-hmm.
because that stuff is just too hard to track.
Yeah. So I'm hearing basically anybody who's got prospects, anybody who has clients. And so to me that's contractors, that's plumbers, that's if you're running an athletic program like a gymnastics school or a dance school. Pretty much anybody who serves people, right? People with names is going to need this. And I'd argue even if you run a supermarket and you have a ton of vendors that you're working with, you
Oh
probably
yeah,
want one there, man, because it's gonna serve you to know their birthdays, and it's gonna serve you to know their wife's birthday and their anniversary and what's going on in their lives.
Restaurants. I mean, I for a long time I had a client. They had four Mexican fast food restaurants up San Bernardino area, and they bought one of the CRMs I sell, and I worked with them for years. And you think, well, it's fast food. What are we going to do? So it's like, we created a burrito for your birthday little program, which any decent restaurant has. So people opted in. So now you have their info.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it's just once a year. Yes, if you're not creative, you can send a half year anniversary. Hey, come get it's your 6 month birthday. Come in for half off. You're halfway to your next birthday. Come get half off your next burrito,
Yep.
right? But then like Shannon loves Miguel's, so we're on there. I get texts from them every day.
Yeah.
Hey, let me go get a burrito. I got a good deal going on, right? So you can stay in touch, and then it's like, oh, hey, it's the Super Bowl. It's St. Patrick's Day. Yeah, well, you know what? If St. Patrick had visited America, he would love Mexican food. Come get a taco for
Yeah.
St. Patrick's Day. I mean, so it's endless. Hey, you got a birthday coming up? Got a wedding? Got a quinceañera?
Yep.
Come get some burritos. Okay. And so, and I always tell the story. There's another Mexican food restaurant down on Jefferson, and you would know it, but I don't want to beat them up. They have great food, and they have great prices on Taco Tuesday. And we got a big family, but it's not just our family. You haven't even met the rest of Shannon's family. Everybody lives here. Both of her parents, her brother, his wife. They got 4 kids. 2 of their kids each have 2 kids and spouses. I mean, dude, we come roll in. We would show up with 15, 17 people on Taco Tuesday. Okay. And we went religiously for, man, like, I don't know, 2 years. And as people that got older, some went to college and dating, whatever, jobs, it just kind of stopped. And even though it's Taco Tuesday, lower margins, not everybody just did the Taco Tuesday. Some, I want a plate. Some would get a beer. I mean, dude, the sodas and the beer, how much money is a restaurant making?
And that's your high profit margin right there. Yeah.
Right? But then we just stopped going, but they never had any way to get our contact info. If you have a party of 17 showing up every Tuesday and they stop, wouldn't you want to know that? Wouldn't you want to reach out to them? Hey, is everything okay? Did we do anything wrong? Okay. How about y'all come back, and you know what? A free appetizer, free dessert for everybody, whatever. Please come back. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go back. They never did it. They don't have that system in place. So everybody needs some kind of system like that to stay in touch.
Yeah. And it can be as simple as a QR code on the table, right? Yeah. Get a 15% off, or like you said, free burrito on your birthday, or monthly deals, or whatever the heck it is, But that's it. That's your capture, right? And then but again, that needs to go into some system to manage the relationships, because I think you hit it on the head a while back. Like we're in an era where people don't want to deal with machines. They want to deal with people. They want to meet in person. They want real contact. They want somebody who knows more than just the name or the generic email, right? And I think once upon a time, media was such that we had to compete with Coca-Cola, right? You don't have to anymore. You just have to build your niche and serve those people, overserve those people. And you can make an incredible life doing it, right? And so I love that opportunity. Well, hey, Wes, we're about 57 minutes into this conversation. I don't remember if I told you a half an hour or an hour, but we took an hour, and I appreciate you being so gracious with your time. If people want to find you on the web, they want to check out your services, some of your programs, your consulting, where do they do that?
Just go to thesaleswhisperer.com.
thesaleswhisperer.com. Wes Schaeffer. Hey man, thanks for taking us on the journey and sharing all of it. I love it. And Wes is one of those people in my life, and sadly too often on social media, not in real life, where he's posting a picture of the squat rack at 5 a.m. And I'm thinking, man, so.
I haven't done that in a while, but I posted some jiu-jitsu pictures. It's going to take over my life for the last 7 years.
Yeah. Your daughter was saying to me that you said I need to do jiu-jitsu with you. And I said, no, I do not. Cause you're a big man.
Oh, yes, you do.
I don't need you to, I can love you from afar.
Look, I'm a lover, not a fighter. Okay. I will gently bend you in half and wrap you up, but then you'll get better and you'll learn, and then you can beat up big guys.
Well, man, maybe if I can, maybe when we get a little bit older. Right now we're running from college to kindergarten. So we got a little bit going on there in our life. So
hey, I feel you.
I know. That excuse falls on deaf ears when I'm talking to you. So
yes, it does.
Good deal. Well, hey guys, thanks for listening. Wes, thanks for being with us, and we'll catch everybody next time. All right, bye-bye.